So how's it going, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the channel. Today guys, we're gonna talk about sprites. Now I shouldn't have actually talked about this because I think majority of you guys already know the best or the good archetypes that's gonna be splashable with the sprites. But needless to say, this is for the new people who are actually into Master Duel or just starting into Master Duel. So to start off, we have seven. So to start off, we have 7 archetypes that we can splash the sprites into. Majority of the content I actually gathered here are from the web. So basically, there are some issues that's going to be arising from most of the pictures that I'm showing you guys. Regardless, we're just going to talk about these cards if ever they're going to be implemented towards Master Duel. My reaction towards this, what possible changes or cards to add into this lineup or deck, will it be better? Things like that I'm going to talk about in this video. So, Nimble. The Nimble archetype revolves around once sent to the graveyard or once summoned to the field, it spell summons, or once destroyed, it spell summons another Nimble from the deck to your side of the field. Majority of the Nimble monsters are level 2, or basically all of the Nimble monsters are level 2, so it's easy for them to be exi summoned to the field. Most common of the Nimble monsters used for the sprites are basically Beaver and Angler. There is the Manta, which you can actually use for this lineup. But in some cases, the frogs with the Nimbles are really a good synergy with the sprites since it's easy enough to use. So that's one thing to take note if you are a new player or trying out the sprites with other archetypes. With regards to the sprite engine, he's actually using here 3 copies of blue, 3 jets. There are some cases where people are actually using 2 copies of jets because basically jet is a really good searcher for your sprite cards. With regards to the red and well, just basically the red though, most people are running with 1 red, 1 carrot, so it's a typical ratio for a deck. I think it's pretty good if just having 1 copy of red. Now, if ever this will be implemented in Master Duel, I would say cutting off a copy of Nibiru, since in the earlier updates for the sprite and tier elements, most of the people are gonna run towards Gigantic Sprite, which is a workaround towards Nibiru. Having 3 copies is just too much. But regards to the DD Crow, like I said in my previous video, DD Crow with most of the current metas and the upcoming ones for the tier elements and sprite, it's gonna be a good lineup. Snow Rabbit, really good as well. Field activation, you can destroy the card. Disregard the frog. We'll talk about the frogs later on. But yeah, the Nimbles are pretty good, or a pretty good synergy once they are on the field or sent to the graveyard. Especially Angler. Once sent to the graveyard, you can spell summon 2 Nimble monsters. The 3 Imperms are really good negate. The engine for the sprites are okay. And I would say my knowledge with regards to sprites is somewhat on average, I would say. With regards to the extra deck, he's using 2 elves, 2 charmers. Ape Masquerena is a really good synergy with regards to Nimbles since they spam a lot of monsters to the board. Masquerena will be a good synergy. 2 Gigantic Sprites, really good. RIP to totally awesome. It's really sad actually to listen another negate for the field. And also another target for Elf. Obimaru's Soul Sweeper. It's not yet on the Master Duel game, but hopefully this will be updated soon. And then Zeus and Downer Magician. So that is basically my thought or insight in regards to the Nimble deck. Let's move towards the Frog deck.
A few moments later.
So here we are guys, and this is the purest form of frog sprite that there is in the internet, and by far it is really good. Not to mention a 40 card deck with Called by the Grave and then a ton of disruptions for your opponent. So that's a really good deck right in front of you. Also, I would like to mention Deep Sea Diva is a really good level 2 monster, and it can special summon another copy of itself from the deck to the field. So that's an immediate rank 2 monster on the field if ever that's the case. Other than that, almost similar to the Nimble, but with the Ronin Toadin and the Duke Frog, it's a really good synergy. Another inclusion for the Snow Rabbit, the Effect Veiler, and a ton of hand traps. It really reminds me with the Sky Strikers wherein a ton of hand traps is added into one deck. Pot of Prosperity instead of triple tactics is really good. If ever this is going to be implemented in Master Duel, I would say, I think this is limited to 1 in Master Duel. Yeah, it's limited to 1. So triple tactics is a really good card for this lineup. Without Maxi, it's still a good deck since most of your sprites and frog monsters can bring out a ton of copies from the deck. Extra deck monsters, still Obimaru's Soul Sweeper, a really good card or a really good synergy for the sprites. Cat Shark. nobody's actually thinking about using this because this is just a level 2 or a rank 2 monster. This actually works like Dugaris the Timeless. It doubles the attack of one monster in the field. So if ever Gigantic Sprite is on the field, having a 3-200 monster basically on the field, plus the effect of Cat Shark, you'll have around 6-400 in attack. This can actually OTK your opponent. And then Almirage and RIP also to Halki 5 Rex. So he's not actually... Oh, they're totally awesome as well. Nightmare Unicorn, already a good card for the extra deck. So far, so good. We have here a versatile deck with regards to the frog. Yeah, that's really good. Very versatile for a deck. I would recommend actually using this. So that is frogs, boys and girls. Next up, we have, or we'll go with Live Twins.
One eternity later.
So here we are with the Live Twins, and this is really close to my heart because it's the Evil Twin or the Live Twin deck. Majority don't know, Live Twins are level 2 monsters, so it's easy enough to special summon another copy of either Lila or Kizikil from the deck. And of course, the Frost and the Treat is a level 2 as well if ever it's on the hand, so you can special summon it right away. The majority of hand traps he's using is really good. 2 passwords, 3 effect veilers. I think just cutting off 1 copy of effect veiler and having 2 copies of Called by the Grave is a really good ratio. Infinite Impermanence to 3 is really good. From Forbidden Droplet, if you don't have Forbidden Droplet, you can go with Dark Ruler No More. 3 copies also. Either Forbidden Droplet 3 copies or Dark Ruler No More 3 copies. It's either one of those. But I think Dark Ruler No More would be beneficial. Since, of course, if you're going up against another Sprite deck or a Tier Elements deck, you can go with Dark Ruler No More. Like I said, Live Twins are really good, but problem with Live Twins is they can easily be Nibiru'd or Ash Blossom or Imperm. So stopping the combo right there is really bad for a Live Twin deck. But since Sprights is going to be added into this lineup, then it's not going to be that easy to negate a Live Twin effect. Furthermore, the inclusion for an artifact Dagna and the site is really good for this deck, and I'm really happy to have this one as a deck profile if ever that's the case. We'll have this one in the near future for Master Duel. So more on the link summoning because of course Live Twins are link based decks. We only have 1 Downward Magician and of course 1 Zeus. Djinn Buster is also here. That's really good. 2 Elves, 2 Gigantic Sprites. Only 1 Trouble Sunny. Hello, okay. Might work. Yeah, might work. I think it's gonna focus mostly with the Gigantic Sprite. Hyper Masquerade, Nightmare Unicorn, very significant as well. And then the 2 copies or the 2 Elves for Evil Twin Kizikil and Evil Twin Lila. So having to bounce that one from the graveyard to your side of the field is really good. And you don't have to worry about it because I think Elf can spell summon a level 2 Link 2, Rank 2, or even I think level 2 monster from the graveyard. By far, this is also a versatile deck. The only problem for this is actually... No, I think it's pretty good. And if ever you're going second, you'll have Droplet, Imperm, and Ash Blossom, or even Vader to negate your opponent's effects. That's really good disruption, by the way. That's the beauty of Live Twins as well. You can have a ton of hand traps and a ton of negates. So that's pretty good. Can't wait to actually use this. 2 Jets, 3 Blues, really good synergy. 1 Red, 1 Carrot. Yeah, I'm happy with this. If ever I'm gonna use this in the Master Duel deck profile in the near future. But yeah, pretty happy. So that is Live Twins. Let's move towards the fourth one.
2,000 years later.
So we have here the cutest deck there is for the Sprights. And we have Melffys. So by far, this is the first time I've actually checked on this deck. And they have a tendency to bounce cards from the field to the hand. That's really insane. But yeah, the trap card just revolves on detaching cards. So a ton of Melffy monsters, same ratio as always for the Sprights, is also including Nimble monsters as well. And 1 majestic monster, this one right here. I forgot about the name about this. Effect Veilers, Lily Crows, always on the go. Pretty good card for this current meta. Starter, I think that's basically it. And hop up next. What's it called this monster again? That can be spell summoned to the field. This is actually a tuner as well. So I think he's using it for Herald. If ever you're going second, this Effect Vader is gonna be useful in a time. But let's see. Tyrannosaurus has a tendency of using its effect on the field as well. Same as Sprights. Possibly it will work. Having a maxi just in case is really good as well. Yeah, Melffys are really good bounce effects for or against your opponent. But regards to beatdown and power, I think I would recommend the other 3 archetypes added for the Sprite. The last one will be, I think most of you actually know about this already. So let's go towards the 5th one. So next one we have here, Paleos. So Paleos. So by the way, this deck profile right here is really questionable on my part. So he's using a ton of hand traps. 1 jet, 1 blue, 3 juke frogs, 3 swap frogs, 2 Ronin Totems. That's really interesting for a lineup. And also 2 snow rabbits, 1 haunted mansion, and 1 diviner. Really questionable as a seeing this deck. But I think this is the only one that I can see with the Paleos added into the Sprite engine. The best thing about trap cards is traps like this. They can activate. You can't negate it by the effect of Effect Veiler or even Imperm. You can't call by the grave it because it's not a monster. And basically it can be summoned back to the field. So that's one good thing about it. I think one good card for, or 3 copies for this deck will be Lost Wind as well. That's really good. But yeah, let's see. I can't say any more about this deck. It's really questionable on my part. But I think if you are going for a trap deck for Paleozoic, add more traps. Anyway, so let's move towards the 6th one. Then the 6th archetype, guys, is Gishki. So Gishki is a ritual-based deck that revolves around your level 2 Gishki monsters and 3 copies of 1 level 4. So what I think about this deck is it needs a lot of hand traps. Because basically, if you're going first, it's gonna be a problem. You'll get negated, you'll get disrupted, you'll get Nibiru'd. That's gonna be a problem. If ever, well, of course, if Gigantic Sprite is gonna be negated, then you get Nibiru'd. If ever they have Nibiru on hand. So, but in rare cases, some people are running with 1 copy of Nibiru, so it's not going to be a problem. Having these 2 monsters right here, it's kind of like the effect, or I think this is kind of like the effect of Nightmare Unicorn, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen the gameplays with this, with the Gishki monsters as well. A ton of bounce effects with regards to their ritual monsters. But same ratio with the Sprights, really good. 2 copies of Swap Frog only, okay. So, I'm not sure. We should have actually gone with another copy of another Negate or Disruption, by the way. But I think it works. If you're going first and undisrupted, you can have a good board. And this monster is a 3k beat stick or already good enough on the field. But breaking boards, I'm not sure. Dark Ruler will be a really good card rather than drop it, because you'll need most of your cards to do or perform your combo. Extra decks is always similar to other Sprite decks. There is, I think the new one here is just this Herald monster. And I think this is the latest Sprite support that we have. I think we don't have this at the moment. So that's Gishki. Needs a ton of hand traps and disruption. And hopefully this will work. So that is your 6, guys. Let's move towards the last one. And I think this is really good if you are going for a beatdown type of Sprite deck. So the last one will be Tri-Brigades. And this is really familiar with most of the people who have actually started the Master Duel. So 2 Fractals, 2 Kiras, and 3 Kits. That's really interesting for a lineup. But 1... I think your Foolish Burial is for your Angler, I'm pretty sure. We have Maxi, that's pretty good. But I think this is the latest one, or the updated one, since we only have 1 starter and 1 jet. So possibly this is the most recent update for the OCG. But yes, 3 starters always, 1 smasher always, and 2 jets or 3, depends on you. 3 blues, 1 red, and 1 carrot. That's the usual engine for the Sprite. Hand traps, we have Imperm, we have Drill and Lock. Interesting lineup. Fire Formation Tenki for your Tri-Brigade monster. Oh, we have Ash Blossom. I was looking for Ash Blossom. There we go. And then we have one Revolt for your Bear Brum. Bear Brum's there, very good. One Shrike only on one Gigantic Sprite. Okay, so that's really interesting. And also one Elf. Okay. Possibly it'll work. I'm not sure. But with regards to Tri-Brigade, that's easy enough to work. One elves of every Tri-Brigade monster, one elf for Gigantic Sprite, and one elf for Shrike, Bear Brum. I think that's basically it. And he's not even using the Bird of Sovereignty. Okay, so that is basically a good matchup there. A 3K beat stick on the field, access code as well. Shrike, very important. Also for Gigantic Sprite, instant 3-200 on the field. And yeah, I think that's really good. This is actually a really good deck. Versatile, I can't say it's versatile, but setup will be good if you're going first. If you're going second, you have Maxi, Ash Blossom, Imperm for your disruptions. Not to mention you have well, that's basically it. Important for Snow Rabbit as well. You can go for DD Crow though. Maxi, I would say Maxi is good. But yeah, that is all the deck, guys. But I think new players out there who's actually watching this video will get to know Sprights much better with these archetypes. So hopefully this video has been insightful for you guys, for new players. But anyways, that's it for today, guys. Keep safe, good luck, and have a good day. Bye-bye.